I should be live. After 10 seconds. You'll have to let me know if my voice is a bit too out of sync from my camera. It may just be that I have to turn the camera off. I'm using my DSLR and there is a bit of a delay between the camera and the microphone. It shouldn't be too bad though. At least I hope not. Bit late. 0. Look, I've got some issues with my audio. Always the way, isn't it? Let's have a look. Phone. Testing. Okay, that sounds okay. Yeah, let's just get on with it. I'm recording this video as well. I chop it up, turn it into a YouTube video. Let's have a look. Right, so what do I want to do? Okay, so my plan for this is in the little game I've got. There's a few goals I want to achieve for this small little game. For the kind of core loop, I want to be able to plant. That's not good. Turn the smoothing on. I want to be able to plant seeds. And I want to be able to water. Hard to write on a tablet now. Water the seeds. And then the plants. Ugh, my handwriting is atrocious. And the plants are going to grow. And then I want to be able to sell the plants / vegetables to a merchant. That comes along sort of every now and again. I just want to be able to, because the water, I'll show what we've got currently in a second, but water fills up the player's little leaf on its head when it rains. And if you don't need to use it, it's just kind of there. So I want to be able to store the water in some sort of container, like a barrel, rubbish barrel, but you know what I mean. And then while I'm actually watering the seeds, I need to see an indication of water level. I want the water level to recede over time, so water level. Reduce the time. And sort of when it's raining, I want it to just passively get some moisture. Get wet in rain. Get wet in the rain. And with the planting the seeds, you're going to need to be able to hold a variety of seeds. Hold seeds. And when the plants grow, I want them to scale up. Ugh. Scale A. Grow. So I'll see, just kind of introduce where I'm up to so far. If I go over to Unity, I've got a little project here. You see we've got a grid here which I can place some tiles into. These are the farm tiles. I can also clear them, make the grid bigger or smaller. I've been working with 5x5 for now. Tile size is just how big the actual grid of each node on the grid is. Farm tiles just the prefab, and then I've just got some gizmos, and again we can place and clear the tiles. This here is just a bit of a placeholder for something else that I can interact with that isn't the seeds, because the interaction system which I've built, it needed to it worked with the farm tiles because it's got a custom mechanic where you tip the water which your leaf's collecting from the rain into the farm tile to kind of water that tile. But I wanted to have something else that you could interact with as well using the same system, so it's all just the same interface. You can see that we're interacting with chest, but it's not actually a chest yet. It may become one, but I just wanted something else in the scene that used the same interface just to make sure that it was all working. So, first thing I wanted to work on was currently the farm tiles have a water level. If I look at sort of this tile here, we've got our farm tile, and it's got a maximum sort of fill amount, current fill amount, which is at 0, and then as we water it, the current fill amount goes up. Then currently nothing kind of happens once it's full, so I want to be able to currently I'm just going to have each tile start with a plant in it. Kind of a plant already associated with that tile, then as the player waters it and like nurtures it, a plant will slowly grow over time. So I need to do that first. I'm probably going to need a plant to place in there, or we could just do it with just like a cylinder, I suppose, for now, and then incorporate a plant. We'll do that first. Let's do that. A bit of coding instead of modeling. So let's just go into our script for our farm tile. But I am actually going to want an object to represent, to make a prefab out of, to represent the plant. So just drop a empty here. To we'll name this to plant prefab. to this, we will add a new script. We'll call this plant. Lost it. Where did my plant go? Plant prefab. And then I'm going to give it a cylinder. Just to represent something, so we can see something in the world. And then I'll move the prefab. Move this up so the pivot is actually at the base, and then that should be okay. We've got our prefab here. Let's actually create prefab. Prefabs and plants. Plant prefab for now. We've got a plant script, which we can open up. For now, we probably don't need this script, but it's just there so we can reference it, because I'm sure plants will get their own sort of functionality. Well, I'm certain they'll get their own functionality. Let's just close this down. Water. I'm going to want a reference to private plant. Assigned plant, because we're going to want to eventually assign a plant to the kind of farm tile. We don't want it to start with a plant straight away. But for now, we'll assign it in the inspector. But obviously, when a player interacts and plants something, they will go. This assigned plant will become the plant that the player places down. But got it. Interact. Water. I'm just going to move these on trigger methods down here. I'm just going to put them in a ring on trigger region. Close them down. So this is the initialization, interact, water, end interaction. So I'm actually going to wrap these in a region as well. Interactable methods. So these are from the interface. These are from the iInteractable interface. These are from the iWaterable interface. What iWaterable methods. End region. So we'll close that down. Now this is just the station. There are serialized fields. Okay, I'm just going to go back over to Unity. I'm going to want to create a tick manager, because I don't want them to scale up every frame necessarily. Probably a bit too expensive. So what I can do, on our game manager object, I'm just going to create, I suppose the tick should go on the game manager. It could go in its own class. I can always take it out and put it in its own class if I need to, but for now, I'm going to have a private void tick function. And just for now, we'll make sure this is working. We'll debug.log tick. going to need a serialized field, private float called tick frequency. That's a good word for it, good name for it. So we've got our tick frequency, and then we'll have a serialized field. Actually, this doesn't need to be serialized, this is just the thing keeping track of the current time to see whether we've ticked. So private float current time. And then we're going to want a using system. We can make a public static action called onTick. To do that, put the parentheses at the end of an action. So our tick frequency, we'll set this to 0.2f. Current time on tick. So we've got our method. So on, no, not on. Just in update. We're going to want to increase our current time by time dot delta time. And then, if our current time is greater than our tick frequency, current time is greater than or equal to tick frequency, then we are going to say on tick dot invoke, and we will set current back to 0 first. I'm going to call that in here, and then I'm just going to put actually, sorry, I'm going to put all of that in here. Call tick here. And then in our farm tile, let's just subscribe to that. So we're going to need a on enable. We will say game manager dot on tick plus equal to tile tick, and then we'll do on disable game manager dot on tick minus equals tile tick tile tickle. Then we will make a void tile tick here. We'll say debug.log tile ticked. Just to check this is working. This is going to happen multiple times because of the grid. Let's just see. Let's make sure that's all working. So every 0.2 seconds, our farm tiles should report having a tick. Let's just make our grid one by one. So hit play, tile ticked. So that's every 0.2 seconds. If we want the tick to be a bit longer, there you go. Every second we are ticking. So basically now in our farm tile script, essentially made our own update method. And instead of being called every frame, this is going to be called every tick, which we can kind of outline and control the speed of. If we wanted to, we could have multiple ticks. So we could, in our game manager, we could have so like a quick tick, slow tick, can call, so this would be like on slow tick, on quick tick, and then we could tick them based on their current timers. But we'll just have the one timer for now. I'm just gonna move Leafy Boy back slightly. Got our plant prefab here. I can delete that from the scene. In our prefabs for our farm tile, we are going to want to look at the inspector and then drag our plant in there. And in Awake, just for now, we will instantiate our, that's the wrong script. Farm tile. Void Awake. I'll do void start. Instantiate our assigned plant at transform.position. Transfer. We'll do quaternion dot identity. And we will say dot transform dot parent equals this dot transform. So we're going to instantiate our assigned plant at our position, and we're going to parent the plant to tiles. Let's just see if that's working. Yep, so that seems to be inspected. That's working as expected. Right, so what are we now? The plant script itself, it'll need growth stages. Did I work on the plant growth first? Have to. If I can get the growth working, then when we sort out the water level, like to kind of saturate the water saturation level on the farm tiles properly, then it'll have the plant to already work with. So let's think how we're going to do this. Layer. So we've got our plant script. I'm going to start shrank is in scale 0. Then every tick we'll start shrank. I don't think that really makes any sense, but it's going to start at scale 0, and then every time we tick, if the every time we tick, if the water redo this, so tick, so as enough. Every time we tick, we're gonna check as water. It's ended up slanted. My tablets over on the, well, just in a weird position. Tick, check has slanted. If, sorry, check has water. If the answer is yes, then we are to grow. If the answer is we want to do nothing, we're going to go back to the tick and then grow, go back to the tick. So it'll grow and then we'll check whether it's fully grown. I'm gonna move my tablet because it's weird, Ryan had such a weird slant. So we're gonna grow. Then we'll check fully grown. If the answer is no, then we'll go back up to the tick. The answer is yes. We'll become, this is mad, but we will become harvestable. So that's our plant idea. So the plant is also going to need to primarily on enable we will subscribe to on tick, so game manager.on tick plus equals tick on disable game manager.on tick void tick. Move these down to the bottom. So I'm going to want to have serialized field private int, and we'll call this growth stages, and we'll just set this equal to not 5 for now. So growth stages, and then we'll have a private int, which is the current growth stage. I'm going to want a public init, public void init. This is going to take in a farm tile. I have a private farm tile called parent tile. That our tile parent tile equal to the tile that we've just passed in. And this way we'll be able to check our parent tile's water level, just to make sure it's wet enough. So let's just do that now. So we've got current fill amount. Let's make a public getter called current fill amount, and we will return our current fill amount. When we spawn our plant, say plant is equal to that, and then let's get rid of this bit. Temp plant. We are going to want to temp plant dot init, and we'll pass in this, which is ourself, and actually, could we can set our parent in the other function work? Yeah. We're going to instantiate and we're going to initialize it and pass in our self, and then in our plant set the parent tile equal to the tile, and then we can actually set our transform.parent equal to tile.transform. Whew. Okay, so we've got our initialization. So now from this parent tile we can get the current fill amount. I'm going to call that something. Max saturation amount. Or max water level. Current water level. Current water level. So if we need a private pool is harvestable. So that's false at first. So if we are not harvestable and our parent tile dot get current water level is greater than 0. Actually, I'm gonna have a public bool called as water, and I'm going to set this to equal to current water level greater than water level threshold, which I can set. This way, different sort of types of land may need to be more saturated than... Oh no, actually we should take that to the plant, because it's more likely that plants are going to have different sort of needs. Yeah, let's scrap that. Well, I'll use the same kind of feature, but directly with the plant. So, got our growth stages. So, minimum water level required. That's equal to 1. So if the current water level is greater than or equal to the minimum water level required, then we're going to want to check has water. If the answer is no, so we'll just else what we can do. We only want to tick if, but not this. So if we are harvestable, or the parent tile.current water level is not greater than or equal to the minimum water level, then we can just return out of our tick. We're not going to do anything else. But if it is, then we can just do some stuff. So what do we want to do? We want to check as well. That's done. Probably star scale is shrunk. So in our initialization, I'm going to do transform.local transform.scale equal to vector3.0. Eventually I'll probably have to move this out to its own function, because we're going to have my idea is that a plant can have multiple parts, so the stem will grow separately to the leaves, so we can tween some values. We won't want the whole thing to kind of start completely flat and shrink up on its y-axis. I'm going to want stuff to move separately, so maybe we should just kind of make that function now, just so we know it's there. So say reset, call this initialize scale. Scale, and then now I spelled that wrong in the first place. So we're going to initialize the scale. So transform.local scale equals vector3.0. And then let's just debug.log plant ticking. Let's just check that that's working. I'm gonna get rid of this for now. But it shouldn't. Plant is started at vector3.0. Prefab. Why is that not good? Why is... okay, because it was at 0 on this, so it'd have to be 1, 0, 1. Yeah, and then it'd grow. Okay. It's currently not debugging anything, which is kind of how we'd expect it. So now we can water the minimum water level. So when we watered this tile, so the plant's ticking. So nothing's happening yet, but it should start growing once that works, once we've set that up. So put our tile, plant tick. So in this initialize scale, I actually need to do a new vector 3. Do 1, 0, 1. And then let's just say on tick, we'll make a grow function, void grow, and here we'll just do flow y scale is equal to. This is all going to be temporary code just to see something happening. So the y scale is going to be equal to the transform.local scale.y. And then we are going to add, that's for now, y scale plus equals 0.1f. And then we'll say transform.local scale.y, no, just local scale is equal to a new vector 3, 1, y scale and 1. Work. Just hit play. So if I approach this and then water the tile, see that we're ticking, and every tick we're recent growth of the plant. Currently that'll just keep growing forever. What we could do, just to make it stop. Oh, hang on. We can make it stop simply by saying, just for now, if y scale is greater than or equal to 1f, is harvestable equals true. Need to make a note that this is all temporary code until we have a model, which I may do sort of soon. So temporary code until we've got a model. I'm gonna have to add more stuff to the interaction code, because if we've got a harvestable plant when we interact, we don't want to tip our water on. We want to harvest the plant. Prefab, so that's ticking up, and it's got to 1. That should. Isn't doing it anymore, so yep, it's harvestable. It is true. Okay, so that's working. Maybe we should get a plant in just so we can set up the actual growth stages of how I'm envisioning them working. So let's nip into Blender. I'll just add in the little cylinder for now. Set this to 6. I don't want it to have any caps. Okay, I'm gonna have to build this in a way that everything's pointing up the same direction. I want to scale everything locally on its local y-axis, so it'll grow kind of in the way it should do, which will make sense when I actually do it. So let's just right, we've got our. I'm just going to shrink this down. I'm just going to do a temporary kind of model just to get this all working, and I'll probably refine it at a later date. Mesh. What's
Discovery, go and throttle up. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Alright, and then plane.
Discovery, your go for APU shutdown on time.
I'm just going to want a PEL sort of shape, so we can. And all the fingeral dexterity, that's probably not the right phrasing for that. To press Control Shift and B, which is halfway down the keyboard. We've got our PEL here. Join those vertices. I'll try. Because if I have it as a quad like this, I can't do that. 2, 3. Oh, that's fine, because I want to. Drop that. Drop it in the middle. Smooth it out. Add a bit of volume to it. Then I need it pivot point to be selection, cursor to selected, and then the origin to cursor. Rotate around point. Just rotate because they're sharing the same pivot. So instead of mirroring those, what have I done? Okay, so instead of mirroring them, I am going to reset the cursor to the grid, and not to the grid, to the world origin. Well, 3D cursor, so actually I don't need, I don't only need one petal in Blender. There's no point me building lots of different petals. That. So this is very rough and kind of ready, just so you can just have something to kind of work on. Origin, medium point. Where is the origin of this? It's all the way up there. So for the origin for this, I'll probably want it to be there. Look at our leaf. I'm gonna reset that, reset this. Where did that come from? RX 45, just so that's upright, and then apply all of the transforms for everything. We'll call this flower head. Stem. The music is a little bit louder than I am, sorry. Hi, which genre game are you making? I'm making like a small kind of game jam style game. The kind of core mechanics is just going to be like a little farming simulator. Namely, so because you've just joined, this is a bit of a scribbly mess, but this is kind of the core loop of what this small game will be. So we're going to be able to plant some seeds, water the seeds. Plants are going to grow. I'm kind of working on this stage, then I'm going to go back to kind of some of the other stages. For example, the water the seeds, that's already done, but I need to do this kind of adjacent stuff. Once the plants are growing, they're going to scale as they grow, they're going to become harvestable. I'm going to sell them to a merchant, and it'll kind of just repeat like that, and you'll gain a bit more money. It's just a small little, almost like game jam style project. I've turned the music down. I was in a bit of a zone. I didn't see that people had chatted, but thanks for stopping by. What was it? Flower head, flower stem, and then flower petal. Like I said, all transforms, and then I'm just gonna add a plane in just to get the scale of this actually. Because this 2x2 plane is how big the farm tile is. I think this scale could work. again, it's all sort of temporary sort of graphics. So in our models, we've got environment, we'll have plants. I'm going to save the Blender file directly into our directory. Call it plant. Call it flower. We'll save that. Go back over to Unity. Back over to Unity. Right, we've got our model here. Plants, so everything's going in the direction it should do. Let's drag our plant prefab back out. Drag in, where's our model? Plants. Let's drag our in. Don't want it to parent into the cylinder. That in here. So the Y scale. So I need to get everything rotated correctly. So it's gonna be Z that's gonna control the local Z axis. It's a bit of a pain that Blender isn't the same kind of directions as Unity, and everything comes in at minus 89.8. If I rotate them, they all stick that way, going the way the curve is. I need to rotate all of these by 90 degrees. Oh, transforms. Let's see if that works. I'm gonna stand upright. There we go. So now if I shrink the Y down, it'll grow kind of as they should. So I bring up the, I'm gonna have to unpack this prefab. So unpack prefab. So bring up the flower head there. Bring a petal and rotate it 60. That look okay. And then I'm gonna have a petal parent. Which I don't need make it empty because I'll just parent it to yeah, I'm gonna make an empty parent for the petals, petal parent. Can rotate it around its pivot. So Control D to duplicate. 90, 80, 70. I'll duplicate them up slightly and then just rotate them 55. I don't know what I've made here, but it looks quite nice. Let's stick some materials on them. So, how about I'm just gonna rename this pink instead of bean because I'm not using that anymore. So let's have all of the petals be pink. I will have the. I'm gonna rename this to white. Like a grey color, and then like a green one. Green. Please. Green. Too neon, isn't it? Back to our scene. So there's our flower. When the camera is this zoomed out, it is actually quite small, but it'll do. So if we've got our... And the reason that I've done it like this is so that I can scale all of the petals down, and they're going to kind of grow from 0 to 1 just over time on the tick. Okay, so back to our plant script. I'm going to need an array of just the transforms or the game objects. Do a private game object array called plant part. Let's just assign these in the inspector. So in our plant parts array, I'm gonna want the head. I'm gonna want the petals and the stem and all of the head. I don't want the petal parent to go in this. God damn it! Got to lock the inspector. I drag them over to plant parts. We've got 10 parts. And then in our tick, so in the tick row, I'm just going to scrap all of this now. So actually I'll keep that. So I'm going to do for each variable part in plant part. I'm going to do part dot transform dot local scale is equal to our new vector 3. Actually, what I should have done, just to check it's all working before we get fancy. So this thingy, and I'll copy this, and then what I'll do is oh no, because we're going to implement growth stages. So just for now, we can art dot transform. then say that if current growth stage is greater than or equal to growth stages, then it becomes harvestable. At the end of for each loop, we're going to increment current growth stage. The Y scale is going to go up by see, this is where math's not my strong suit. If we do growth stages, what am I trying to do here? The Y scale. Would it go 1 divided by growth stages? Gotta calculate. So if it's gonna go between 0 and 1, and I want it to take 10 10 ticks to get big. Do 1 divided by 10. Yeah, 0.1. So that should work. Again, not very good at maths. It's quite hard in game dev. Really? So growth stages. Let's just check this as well. So 1 divided by 5. So 0.2. So theoretically, if this is right, every tick we're gonna increase by 0.2, and then our current tick stage is going to go up. We can track vector. I'm gonna move our plant flowers not placed at position 0. Flower head, flower stem, natural plant prefab. That's all. I'm going to move this down to counteract. Oh, that's locked. Ugh. Such an idiot. Plant prefab is now at 0. Flower is also at 0. Right, okay. And then there. At the petal. Flower head I've moved up, so that's fine. Right, okay, so that should be okay. That was locked. Let's just apply those changes. Move that over here there. I'm gonna hit play. Oh, what's going on? Object reference not set to an instance of something. Oh, yep, obviously. It's because this doesn't have a parent assigned to it, like a parent tile. Okay, so what's this? Flower head. Everything's at 0, 0. That's 0. I shouldn't be able to see that, right? Oh no, I guess I would. No, I definitely would. Okay. Because I want it to go to 1, 1, 1. Oh, I was setting it every tick. Okay, was that just because that was funky? Yeah, okay, there we go. That was because I'd kept code in from when I'd copied and pasted it. Okay, so we've got a full little leaf now. Let's go water the plant. And it instantly grows. Why did it instantly grow? Each part in plant parts. Part is equal to the parts dot transform dot local scale. What you get for copying and pasting. I'll go over, highlight this tile. So, why is that not ticking? Is harvestable become true very quickly then? Is that what happened? So go to debug. Current growth stage 0. Okay, so that was on tick. So that is working. What's not working is the growth. On growth stage. A break point here. Let's just see what's going on. Debug this shit. Attach that to Unity. Enable debugging. It takes a while when you're debugging. to load. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to our tile, water it, and then we're gonna break. So our Y scale is 0 this go around. That's to be expected. Then we're gonna add +1 divided by growth stages. I think it's because these are an int. I'm gonna want to cast this to float. I think that was the problem. Try that again. That wasn't the problem. Also, I forgot to attach it to D. Okay, let's hit play again. Let's try it. Okay, so let's come out. So again, Y scale is 0, as we'd expect it to be the first time. One divided by growth stages. That's technically I need to. I'm gonna do float. Growth amount is equal to 1 divided by growth stages. Try that again. Okay, right. So 0 the first time around, plus the growth amount, which is 0.2. So yep, we're gonna plus the growth amount. Which is now 0.2. So we're gonna increase this scale by 0.2. I'm gonna do this for every part. Lost track now where we are in the loop. That's fine, let's carry on. We've gone around 10 times yet. Okay, yep, there we go. So let's water that, and every tick it's going to grow, but what we're going to want to do is tween it. I don't want it to all kind of grow at the same time. So let's try and get that working, and that's probably the end of the live stream. Where has... Oh, have I closed Visual Studio? That's just great. Move our scripts over into the scripts folder. Plant. So this is going to be using bg.tweening. Now I'm still quite new to do tween, but let's see if we can get this working. So each part, yep, we're going to set it to 0. That's fine. So float y scale is going to be equal to its current y scale. Do old scale, old y scale. The new scale going to equal old y scale plus the growth amount. Then we're going to have a tweened y scale. Actually, we can scale it directly here. So we'll do a vector 3 old scale equal to its local scale. The new scale is going to be equal to the old. It's going to be equal to a new vector 3 of old scale dot x old scale dot y plus growth amount old scale dot x dot sorry. This is vector 3. Then we want to say art dot transform dot to local scale to our new scale and the duration will be the tick time 0.1 f for now. I just want to see if that's working as I expected first. We'll go any further. Which of course not. Prefab. Oh yeah, of course, because it's starting at 0, so it'll always stay at 0. Would this work? I think the problem before is being squished at 1, 0, 1. Oh, 'cause we're gonna go from 0 to 1 on all 3 axes, like 3 parameters. So they're all going to be all scale plus growth amount. So let's just add that to each element of the vector 3. And then I don't want the head of it and the petals to grow until the previous parent is fully grown. I'm going to want the stem to grow, and then the head, and then either all of the petals, or like at the same time, or one petal at a time. How would I do that? So the growth stages, I don't think I'll be able to do. I'll have to come up with something a bit more custom. I can't just append them. Sequence. What I could do is have the stem grow, and then once the stem has grown, then that grows everything else. I don't know if that'd look a bit fish. And also, I guess you could watch the stem grow, yeah, and then once it comes to the top, then the rest of it flowers. That'd be relatively easy. We still have that as plant parts. But then if I do a game object stem, I'll get this done for now, and then I'll have a think off stream. A good way to actually do it the way I want to. Maybe I'd have to do it through a shader. If I can put the flower stem, I can get rid of the flower stem from this. The head, petals, so flower stem, flower petals. So here, I'll do void finish growth. This is the part. This is going to be stem. Then we can do if current growth stage is greater than the equal to the growth stages, we will finish our growth, and then instead of doing this, we're just going to go part transform to vector 3.0, and it can take a little bit longer. But what I might do actually is make a sequence called sequence. Set this equal to a new sequence. I don't think I need to actually declare it like that. I could just do sequence, and then I can do part.do sequence.append. Append, and then I think it should just play them all here. I don't think I have to. I think it does it once it goes out of scope. So let's just see. What I could do is sequence dot on complete. Make an anonymous method and just say is harvestable becomes true. Will that be enough for this? Stem started at vector 3. I started as self. What I need to do is do stem.transform.local scale and set that to 0 as well. So we can water the tile. This stem will start growing. Oh, when we're gonna miss it. Oh no, it's Karen going. Oh no, it's mad. It's mad. Actually, you're gonna have to do this here. Otherwise, it will carry on growing. Sequence.append. What was that mistake? What was the error? I can't add elements to a null sequence. How do I make a new sequence? Do this out back in here. So sequence equals a new sequence. What has to go in the constructor? Quickly look up. We use sequences. Do tweens. Rating a sequence. Sequences like tweeners, but instead of animate properly, they animate other tweeners as sequences as a group. Retained. Overlap tweens with the insert method. A tween can be nested on inside a single other sequence, meaning you can't reuse the same tween in multiple sequences. Also, the main sequence will take control of all its nested elements. Finally, no. Blah, blah, blah. Create a sequence. Okay, equals do tween sequence. There we go. That should work. Gonna come over here. Water the spot. It's gonna grow. get to the top and not do anything. I thought when they went out of scope, they just played. Maybe I'll have to call it. Why is that sequence not playing? Oh, it was. I was going to vector 3.0 instead of vector 3.1. So it was playing, but there was just nothing to see because I was shrinking it from 0 to 0. That again. Oh, that's actually quite nice. Very nice. And then we can add, why not add a little bit of set ease to ease dot in out back. Beautiful. They probably like pop and spring into kind of place. I actually quite like that. Of the stem kind of grow and then like the head of the plant kind of pop. Whether that's like you know, if we ended up planting some carrots, the carrot could grow up slowly and then right at the end the leaves go pop. Yeah, I actually really like how that turned out. Especially the do tween easing just adds so much to it for so little code. I'm actually really happy with that. Pretty cool. Alright, I think that's quite a good place to leave it. Kind of set out what I wanted to do, which was this. Just the scale is the growing, and then we've got the water level kind of stuff sort of working. Yeah, I'll have to do another stream to do some of the rest, but for now, thanks for watching.